Hi, I want to talk about automatic writing and whether or not you can do it into a laptop or a computer or even your phone. So I will tell you that purists of the form of automatic writing that I've run into and met will say that it has to be your pen and paper, but I don't agree with it. So that's why I want to bring this up today because I have found that you can do it into a computer, which I guess would be the same as your laptop. You can write things into your phone. You can do voice memos that you type up. I have found there's so many ways to do automatic writing that it doesn't have to be as restrictive as only when you have your notebook and your pen. I want to tell you that I do think I use the paper and pen whenever I'm using automatic writing to do anything healing. So if I want to get into a meditative state and I want to look at, say, this reoccurring pattern I'm noticing in my life, maybe I've noticed every time I go to do something, I get interrupted. Every time I go to work on something like that's a passion project, say there's an interruption. So for me, that is when I would be like, okay, something's going on. Maybe there's a shadow energy, or maybe I have this energetic pattern to clear, could even be a past life. Those are the times where I'll sit down with my paper and my pen and really tune in, set up my energy the way I do in my Unlock Writer's Block program or any of my writing alchemy bundle when I want to really tune into my higher self and my guides. That is when I use the pen and paper. For me, it feels more intimate for healing. But I will say that when I started writing, I didn't know I was a channel. So I would go for a walk and I would hear a blog post, and it would happen to me every single day until I wrote the blog post. And I would come home. I never used a pen and paper for this. I would sit in front of my computer. My desk is kind of energetically set up the way I like it. That's the place where I write the best, is whenever workspace I have. And I would just type. And it was very much automatic writing and it was quick because when I would try to use the paper and the pen, I can't write that fast. Whereas when I was just tuned in, usually I had like cleared my energy on the walk, came in all set up, my desk usually was already ready and energetically clear, and I would just type and I could type out, 3 to 5 to even 10 pages, just boom. So I could never have done that with the writing. I never learned to write fast for whatever reason. I don't know. I didn't put in the effort with handwriting or whatever with my penmanship. So it was always like, I could not keep up. It was like being tongue tied on a page or even like felt like stuttering on a page. So for me, writing into a computer, typing on a keyboard was the only way to go. Later, as I kind of developed my gifts, I realized that even say I was out on that walk and heard stuff, if I could type it into my phone, it was like I was capturing the magic and the intent of it, and then I could come home and type it. So that still to me feels like automatic writing when you're out and you're receiving a message or an intuitive hit, or some people would call it a download, depending on your dominant clair, however you receive information. Getting that, even if you type it into your phone, is a form of automatic writing, in my opinion. I also think, worst case, get it into a voice memo. If you have to talk it, that's fine too, and then come home and write it. So it's kind of like, who cares if there's a middle step or a middleman, whatever you want to call it, like as long as you capture that wisdom. I have other blog posts that talk about understanding your dominant clair and how you receive and the importance of just getting that down in writing. For me, the writing part is what brings it into your physical realm, and it's what can go on to create alchemy when you get into like co-creation. um, but when I started blog posting, I didn't know. Well, when I started blogging, writing blogs, I guess you wouldn't just call it blog posting. But when I started blogging, I didn't know I was an intuitive channel for it. I didn't know it was a form of automatic writing. I just thought, gosh, I just get all this information when I walk and then I type it when I get home. It wasn't until I started noticing that the same blog post would come every single day until I typed it that I started wondering, okay, what is this? Why am I having the same words? Like it would start the same paragraph, the same, and it would go through like an entire blog post the same way every time. And I started thinking, I don't know why my mind could do that. And then at one point, I did sit down and type, and a spirit physically like sat next to me. Well, I guess not physically, but it was a visible shape that I could see and was like, like go ahead. And that's when I was like, okay, this is some sort of channeling because not only was I suspecting that I was typing for spirit, I saw it like this big presence next to me. So I was like, okay, obviously automatic writing and intuitive writing can happen like right into your computer. They're not caring about the pen and paper. It's the ease of which you get it out so that it's into the world. Um, so yeah, that's that. Sometime I'll tell you about the after that spirit, the one that I saw in my kitchen where I was just like my mind could not handle it. It was a little too much, and I asked not to see, only to hear from that point forward because I was like, it's just I was living a very 3D life at the time, and that was like too much information for me. But so automatic writing can be done in your laptop, your keyboard, wherever you have it, into your phone, through a voice memo that you type up later, or in your favorite journal or any paper you can find with your pen. I don't think there's only one way to do it. I think the important part is to be aware of when you are receiving those really insightful, higher perception messages and capturing them. That to me is the critical factor, not exactly the how. The how is just whatever works for you. It's what works for you. The parts that I really stress and that you'll find referenced throughout my blog post is clearing the energy of your space, clearing your energy before you do any kind of automatic writing, just so that you know you're getting wisdom versus your ego trying to sabotage you. Because your ego's always going to say things like, why don't we just play small? But it won't say play small. Instead, it'll say, you'll have this great idea. Why don't I open this Etsy shop? And your ego is likely to be like, you know what? No, it's not going to work. There's too many people that already do it. What's different about you? Because they just don't like change. So until you've developed that relationship where you really know when your ego is stepping in, and even after, it's just always a good idea to clear the energy of your desk, yourself, and put up a protective boundary. I have a 2-minute ritual that you can use for writing that does that, and it's free on my website. You can find it where that really helps just be clear. And then you can type away, write away, talk away, and type it later, whatever works for you. So again, I'm Nicole Streichaz. I'm the writing medium. And let me know if you have questions about this. I'd love to hear about your favorite way to do automatic writing if you have one. And if you haven't tried it yet and you do, let me know that too. You can tell me in the comments, or you can email me, or you can even DM me at Instagram at the writing medium because I would love to know how it's going. So happy writing.